that culture that built it may have use of it, but for us it's not that much of a big deal anyway. So it's best to just have the buildings that we actually need. 2 more armies will join this army group here, and it will make up 8 armies in total. Those 2 armies are right here. It will take some time before they travel through. Just like that. I like very much that on force march armies are actually making a serious distance forward. Okay, now without the navy and an army close to Ephesus, or Rhodes is trapped because they've lost the city of Side. They're trapped in their home, in their island of Rhodes, after which their nation has been named. Bactria has only 5 turns remaining. However, they did manage to recruit a relatively large navy. That navy could potentially take out a smaller settlement that's not so well defended. As you can see, if they affect this army truly significantly, then it may mean it won't be able to move. Besides, I've noticed that they have sent out an army out. Military disruption, focus. Dinka Morris, undermine authority. The enemy dignitary has undermined their general's authority, diminishing his ability to command his troops in battle. Muster army. War makes us strong and rich. Mustering a new army would allow us fresh conquest and plunder. Objectives. Raise an army at the following settlement, Solocha. Call to arms. Your military expertise is making recruitment across the domain more efficient. +1 army recruitment capacity, all provinces. I'm not going to do that. However, I've just noticed that my food has increased tremendously, which means finally the province of Belgica can finally be taxed once again, and we're still in a large food surplus. It looks like this army is not going to be able to move due to the fact that an agent has affected it. Furthermore, the terror of Phobos is a true terror nonetheless. It looks like they're counterattacking, and they will take the settlement of Side for themselves. This would give us an opportunity to attack the island of Rhodes itself. And maybe we could even take it with just a navy, but that would be a long shot. You see, our Rhodes is being defended by 10. Garrison units. Let's attack their navy and see what they have there. They only had an admiral unit supported by a garrison fleet. That's a very easy battle for us. I'm surprised that I've lost 2 units there. Going to enslave them. Okay. Now, furthermore, let's hire a few mercenaries here. Surprisingly, I was able to catch them while I was on the sea. And now, as you can already tell, I won't be able to take the settlement, but I'm able to maintain a blockade, which will surely make their life a lot more difficult for them. The army close to Jerusalem is almost in a position. They need to move to Memphis, from where they'll have a clear road onto Alexandria and further. Besides that, just increasing my settlements is all I need. Increasing my settlement building chains up the ladder. That's it. In all this waiting, we have successfully loaded ourselves on large sums. Surprisingly, the Romans that used to be stationed in Crimea have retreated. The city garrison has never suffered any kind of attrition. That's probably due to the fact that they somehow can bring supplies to the city with the sea road. That's probably from Sparta. They're buying things there. I was talking about the navy right here, Ares Terror, that's currently in a relatively good shape. I'm not sure if these side settlements would be capable of dealing with them. For this reason, I'm going to raise a force, a Seahorse clan. A legacy most likely should be reinstated. Right there. And these units should be built This is going to be our Black Sea Fleet, which will undoubtedly move on to the war at some point in time. But we do need a presence here of our own navy, especially now against these Bactrians. It looks like these have suffered attrition because they've taken damage very equally. Furthermore, this army will be marching north too. And for now, we're good to go. Without Bactria, there won't be that many common enemies out there left anymore. Unsurprisingly, Narodas has moved out with its main force, and they have counterattacked the settlement that we've taken from them, and it looks like it's going to be theirs once again. I can see that they have a very strong hoplite infantry line, supported by very large number of skirmish cavalry and very large number of light pistol slingers, who are specifically called Rhodian slingers. So that probably means that they're just from Narodas island itself. There is no doubt we won't be able to win this. Now we have a choice. We can attack the settlement that they have recently taken, or we may attack their homeland, which is the island of Rhodes. Peace negotiated. Bactria and Syracuse. These two factions have set aside the differences and stopped fighting. It looks like that leaves Crimea for us. Our hidden agent exposed. Riot at the capital. A riot has started in your capital. You suspect that it was instigated by one of the other political parties. How do you react? Let's accuse them in public. Client established. Syracuse and Bactria. This faction has become a client state. In return for their tribute, they are protected by the new overlord. So it looks like Bactria has lost its influence over its people, and they became the puppets of Syracuse, who almost have taken Bactria for themselves, which is an interesting twist of events. Now, with all these wheat fields, our food levels have increased once again. Faction joins war. This faction has joined the war. They may want easy gains at the expense of others, or they may be acting for their allies. Army destroyed. Shipwrights report. Hidden agent exposed. Let's find out where exactly Bactria currently stands. And it seems that they are still at war against us, even if they are a clan state of Syracuse. So a clan state not necessarily means that Syracuse is protecting them. For 1 second there I thought that this means Bactria will no longer be at war with anybody because they are currently under the liege of Syracuse. However, it seems that the clan state only means that they'll be paying money for the rest of eternity to Syracuse for as long as they're the clan state, and Syracuse is most likely going to protect them. But in this case, it's not going to be of much. We're going to take this settlement for ourselves then, and end this war once and for all. Now they're only left with navies. Look at that, it gives us 9 food, which isn't that bad. However, I'm going to create a great hole in here. And south terrain. They're only left with navies. These navies are going to suffer attrition, and this means that they'll most likely attack us at any point in time.
Ready for battle. Getting on our way.
But that's fine. We'll just defeat them with our own navy and army. Now in here, our situation is a little bit more
Ready for orders.
different.
Garrison.
Finally, positioned in Memphis, they have organized themselves the 10,000 force to be reckoned with. My armies in the north have almost reached their positions, and now it's time for me to move on against their Hodis. Looks like I can't do it just yet. First things first,
That is impossible.
I have to board into the sea before I can effectively attack the island itself. I'm sure that Arhod's army on the side, on the city of side, is not going to march further out, and will probably use this as a reason not to attack them. Obviously, if they would just start plundering all over, then we would have to send our army to fight them first before we attack their homeland. Syracuse is going to support Thapsus with a force of their own, which will probably means that we are unable deal with them effectively.